President Biden pledging another $800 million in aid for Ukraine, including more artillery and ground defense systems. This as Ukraine's troops attempt to beat back Russia's offensive in the Donbas region, and the standoff in the city of Mariupol grows more and more gruesome and heart-wrenching. Joining me now is Arkansas Congressman French Hill. He's a member of the House Financial Services Committee. Congressman, you just returned from a trip to Poland with GOP leader McCarthy to meet with refugees and troops. Tell us more about that.
Well, Dagan, it's good to be with you. Look, we were heartened by our trip by the outpouring of support from Poland and Romania for all the Ukrainian citizens, their neighbors. They're housing them in their own homes. They're offering them food, education for their kids, because 90% of these refugees are moms with their children. So we were touched by the humanitarian generosity of the Poles and the Romanians. When we met with our troops in both Romania and Poland, we found the inventory and delivery to the Ukrainian border of the lethal aid coming from 31 coalition countries is absolutely growing, and it's absolutely the list that President Zelensky is asking the West for in support. So those were two heartening aspects of the trip. Also, we noted that Romania particularly wants to be energy independent of Russia and is lobbying mightily in Europe for an all-of-the-above energy policy, including nuclear, gas, wind, solar, but not denying Europeans the ability to produce their own oil and gas.
President Biden was forced to backtrack again yesterday after he confused the travel mask mandate with Title 42, which, based on the pandemic, limits some migration or illegal immigration over the border. Watch this.
Are you considering delaying lifting Title 42?
No, what I'm considering is continuing to hear from well, first of all, there's going to be an appeal by the Justice Department, because as a matter of principle, we want to be able to be in a position where, if in fact it is strongly concluded by the scientists that we need Title 42, that we be able to do that. But there has been no decision on extending Title 42.
Biden then having to issue a statement that said this: I want to clarify that in comments at the conclusion of my remarks this morning, I was referring to the CDC's mask mandate, and there's no Department of Justice action on Title 42. This, as we learn that Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas is concerned about the plan to lift the Trump-era policy at the border. Congressman Hill, make sense of this.
It's not able to be made sense of. I thought for a minute his talking points were written by the vice president, because that word salad made no sense to me whatsoever. Two issues. One, the people with cases at zero, the mask mandate needs to go away. There's no reason to appeal it. Local authorities can certainly deal with any spike in cases in the future. Secondly, on Title 42, it was a critical element in President Trump's efforts to control and secure our border. Democrats in Congress don't support this move to abandon Title 42 in May either. So I'm glad to hear potentially that Secretary Mayorkas is pushing back against this policy that's coming direct from the White House.
Well, what happens in terms of, especially with the growing number of Democrats who at least want a replacement constructed if Title 42 is lifted? How do you think this ends, Congressman?
Well, Dagan, let me tell you, look, from the time Joe Biden was sworn into office, he cast away all the border policies that had been fought over for 4 years that were finally working and making some sense of securing our border, keeping drugs and human trafficking out, allowing people to seek asylum in an orderly manner. And Biden replaced those with nothing. And so he's created this massive crisis, which is why I think finally you see some Democratic pushback in the Congress against what is a completely chaotic policy. And I think Secretary Mayorkas should resign in disgust over the inability to secure the border. And I think that's due directly from White House staff meddling with the mission of the Homeland Security Department.
Congressman French Hill, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thanks,
Have a wonderful weekend.